All right, our recording has started. For those of you here, I appreciate you joining us for our final segment of the Let's Talk Live series. As colorectal cancer month comes to an end, so does this segment. And I've had a good time doing this. I look forward to doing this again next year. And I thought it would be befitting to end the series with an Ask the Expert segment with Dr. Brian McGee. Good evening, Dr. McGee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy day, but I just keep going.
Hey, that's all you can do.
Keep going.
Don't stop. Don't
Um,
stop.
but I wanted to have you on because there's something special and unique about you, and I want to share it with the people that tune in. Because I see on your profile where you say dual board certified, and I was trying to understand. I think I understand because I think you have a specialty in internal medicine as well.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that means you can answer general health related questions too.
Absolutely. That makes
Oh,
me a double expert at least.
oh, this is gonna be fun.
Don't do it to me though. Don't do it to
Don't
me
do it.
though.
No, no, okay. Am I going to be testing your knowledge here if I do
Nah,
that?
you whatever you got, we're gonna try to do what we can.
Okay. So what I'll do is give you the floor, just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to everyone who's tuned in, and we'll jump right into asking questions. I do want to maximize on this time that we have with you to get some questions answered.
Absolutely. Hey, I do appreciate you giving me this opportunity to come and talk because this is about, spreading love, spreading education. My name is Dr. Brian McGee. I am an Arkansas native, and I'm located in Little Rock, Arkansas. I am a dual board certified gastroenterologist. So I'm board certified in internal medicine, also gastroenterology, and colorectal cancer awareness is my passion. We are still in the month of March for another couple of days. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and there is never enough we can do to bring education or health literacy to every community, definitely to any community like ours that has historically been underserved. So that's what I'm hoping we're able to do, kind of, bring a little bit of humanism to the conversation.
Good, good. So I'm going to hop right in and ask my question. And it's really not um, like a health related question, but I'm curious to know what led you to the field of gastroenterology. Is there a connection to it? And if so, what is that?
Honestly, there was not really a connection. It just happened to be, in passing, having the opportunity to be exposed to it because I really did not know much about gastroenterology initially. I mean, I thought I was either going to be an orthopedic surgeon or a cardiologist or something like that. And so once I had the opportunity to be exposed to it, it was really intriguing. Because as I've told people before, no one wakes up and says, "Hey, mom, I want to be a plumber."
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what a gastroenterologist is. We're kind of like human plumbers. And
Okay.
so, but the work itself and seeing how much you can impact and affect someone as far as prevention, you can really prevent someone from having a cancer. It was amazing to me. And so I continue to be humbled and amazed every day I'm given the opportunity to provide care for people.
I was curious about that. And I do have several health related questions, but before I steal the floor, I want to open it up to people who are on to ask questions because I know there have been a couple of questions in previous lives that we've had that I couldn't answer. I'm not the expert. So I would like them to present those questions to you.
Absolutely.
So if you have a question, I think you should be able to raise your hand in here and go for it. If not, I'll take over. Okay. Another
I have a
question. Oh,
question.
there we
I'm
go.
sorry. Hey,
Go ahead.
so I have a question in regards to like the current climate of colon cancer, screening age
Yes.
limits. Where do you feel like would be a good step for a regular patient who is a young woman or a young man to get the confidence to actually know how to communicate that to the doctor to get screening if they're under the age of 45 or 50, I believe. Like, how would you go about educating someone on how to do that properly with a
Yeah.
primary care doctor?
So for me, it's pretty easy, because I talk about this every day. Um, right now, our literature says start screenings at age 45. So that's for people that are average risk. And average risk is just someone who does not have a known family history of colon cancer. For me, I really take exception to that because how many of us can go back 3 or 4 generations in our own family, name 3 or 4 generations in our family, and know what affected them health wise? So for me, it's always a big question mark when I have Black patients as far as whether or not there's really a family history. There may not be a known family history, but family history is a big question mark. So for me, I like to start at age 40 for Blacks. Um, I really hope one day we can start moving the needle even more forward because we're starting to see colon cancer in people younger than age 45 and people younger than age 40. But
Correct.
but right now, most insurances and most literature support starting at age 45. And if you're a patient, and you're going to see a provider and you ask them about screening for colon cancer, if they brush you off, you may need another provider, because at the end of the day, this is supposed, I like to call it a plan of care. Whenever I develop a plan of care, it only works if the patient and myself are on the same page. If we're both working together, then the patient is more likely to buy into the plan of care. So you also need to find the right fit to make sure you have a provider that's looking out for you.
Thank you so much, because I know that's like a growing concern with a lot of people who are under the age of 40, even younger, who are getting colon cancer, and they're,
Yeah.
saying online, you hear so many people saying like, well, I found out too late I had stage 3 or stage 4, and I had to go through so many hoops to even get screened. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And what you're saying is true. The thing about colon cancer is it can be silent. So a lot of times, I'm asked these questions. Hey, what are some of the warning signs? Well, one of the warning signs is there are no warning signs. And so that's where you, as the patient, you have to be your advocate. If you feel like something's not right, you can say, I feel like something's not right. I mean, you may not know how to articulate it to the point to where the medical person just automatically understands what you're saying. But anyone who's really paying attention to you when you go see them for care should understand that you saying, hey, something doesn't feel right. Is there a way I can be referred to a specialist? Not all insurances make you have to have a referral, so there are plenty of times I have people that do not have referrals and they just, they come in and they see me and we talk about it. We figure it out. We get them on the books. We get them taken care of. So, anything that you can do to just be more aware and paying attention to your body, I applaud you for it.
I
Thank
do
you.
want to make note, and to you, Ms. Boone, there are organizations who are really out there pushing and fighting to get that age dropped yet again, because I can remember a point in time where it was 50 and now we're
Yeah.
at 45, but it is projected by 2030, I believe, that we'll see more cases of colorectal cancer diagnosis in people under the age of 45.
I see. It's
So
so good. I love it. Thank you.
so yes, we're definitely I'm here for you. If you can, please mute your mics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
The
mute
the
you.
ma- the thing that I would say is, while I was in training, I started seeing a lot of patients coming into UAMS that were younger than the age of 40 with
Mhm.
colon cancer.
Mhm.
And we're going by everything that we have all of this literature in front of us that's saying start at age 50. And, nowadays you have people saying the math ain't mathing, so for us, we were kind of looking like, well, why are we seeing this so much? It can't just be that it's, just certain people or a certain demographic. We started seeing people of various ethnicities and various backgrounds.
Yes.
So we understand that it's occurring earlier. 15 years ago, they may have told people, hey, this doesn't happen until people are older than 70. And so eh, these are just things that we can sit here and we could probably have a whole separate talk as to why colon cancer is occurring in people younger and younger. But at the end of the day, we need to, you know, I am one of these people who advocates for, I just feel that cancer screening should be something we should be able to provide for free in this day and age. I mean, that's something that we don't have to fight about. Cancer screenings in general are things that we should all be able to rally behind. So anything that I can do, I mean, I don't mind arguing with someone's insurance, I mean, that's part of the job. So, and she's laughing because she knows, I mean, lots of times you have to argue and you have to fight for things. And so, if that's what happens and that's what I have to do, we'll do that. But there are also several grants out there to help people get colonoscopies paid for if you don't have insurance or if your deductible is too high.
All right, Dr. McGee, we have a question from Kendra.
What you mean? Correct.
Hi, Dr. McGee. I kind of have two questions. So the first question is, besides
this coming up?
Yeah, because I got money on there. I
Okay,
was gonna use for
hold on
that.
just a second. Let me mute. Sorry. Go ahead, Kendra.
so in addition to getting like a colonoscopy, are there any indicators to like maybe some type of trigger or something in blood work that would maybe indicate getting checked or going to a specialist for colorectal cancer? And then the second one is what foods are good, or what type of diet is good for good colon health?
Yeah. So your first question, unfortunately, no, they're not really good blood tests. The main blood test that we would do would be a tumor marker screen. But so if I did a colonoscopy and I found a tumor or a cancer in someone, I would check this certain blood level. And this blood level would kind of be our starting point. And after the tumor is removed and or chemotherapy has occurred, we would check it again and we would continue to monitor this marker to make sure that it stays low. So we know that there's no tumor or cancer. Unfortunately, we don't do that ahead of time. It's really not a good test to do to screen to make sure that people, don't have cancer or anything. They do have stool tests that some people can do. A lot of people, you've seen the Cologuard commercials, and those are good tests. I'm not going to talk bad about them. Those are good tests. And those are tests where they look for certain markers or DNA in the stool, and they can tell you whether or not there are abnormal cells present within your colon. The caveat with that is if you do that stool study or stool test and it's positive, then you end up having to come see someone like me to have a colonoscopy. But your second question, which had to do with diet, well, we the same general types of things that we tell people with maybe being heart healthy. We say not too much salt, try to do things, low fat so we don't have too much cholesterol. We've found that there's a direct link to obesity and all types of cancers. But the other things is going to be these ultra processed foods, these sugars, these drinks and candies, and I mean things that I really like myself. I'm not going to talk bad about it, but these ultra processed foods, sugars, meats, a diet too heavy in these types of things are likely to increase your risk of developing some type of colon cancer. Now, I can't really put a number to it because it's tough to say these things because, again, during my internal medicine days, we would see people who were vegetarians, very lean. They came in, they had heart attacks. So, you can do some of the healthiest things that you think are possible, and health can still occur. I think the best thing to do is just do your best. Don't do things like eat McDonald's every day. These sound like no-brainers, but sometimes convenient things are what we do because it's just a lot quicker. You're in a rush. Like, hey, I got to study for this test. I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to take care of the kids. So taking just a little bit of time out to plan out your meal a day or two in advance can make such a difference.
Thank you, Dr. McGee.
Absolutely.
I have a question along the lines with like, have you noticed or witnessed any type of extra risk factors for African Americans in comparison to other ethnicity and races?
Yes. I think, gosh, that's an excellent question. Fully multi-loaded. When you look at our ethnicity that has been historically underserved, you have a group of people who were not given the best ingredients. I mean, when you look at things like chitlins, how did we get to that? Because the last part of the pig that was left, and we still tried to make the best of it, right? And so when you don't, now take this so many years forward, when we don't live in the best neighborhoods. So now we have all these environmental exposures, people that live too close to roads. They're breathing all the exhaust from these cars on a regular basis. Or they don't really have grocery stores. They have convenience stores. They can go in and grab, all color of sodas and beverages that have a lot of sodium and sugar in them. They all kind of chips, but you don't have vegetables, and things like that. So there's so many environmental things and just poor habits. Some we learned and some we've got to just really unlearn. I think now that we have things like, Zoom, where we can meet and we can exchange information, it helps to improve our health literacy or our health IQ, so that we can do better for ourselves and for our families. And by doing that, it improves our communities and it sparks people to go into fields of medicine to where we can provide care or direct access to members of our community if they choose to see providers that look like them. And just really just do what we can to help propel ourselves forward continually by knowing that we have things that we can do to prevent bad outcomes.
Okay. Fact or myth? No one in my family has ever had colon cancer, so I can't get it.
Myth.
Okay.
Absolute
I want to
myth.
put that out there because I try to tell people like to
Yeah.
put it out there.
The person who thinks like that will be the family history in their family.
Yes. All right. Anyone else have questions? I have a
Hey,
list
so,
of them. I'm trying to give other people a chance. I have a list of questions, but
hey, Shamika.
is that my C train?
Yeah,
It's
train
Cheryl.
here. I tried my best
Hello.
to get on. Just got back from North Carolina. I appreciate the doctor. I got in too late. I'm gonna see if I can scroll and get his name. Dr. McGee.
Brian McGee.
Dr. McGee. Yeah. And everybody on the call, good evening, and thank you for being there. I was just gonna have a comment. When I always tell people, if you got a colon, you need a colonoscopy. So that's just the
Bottom line.
intended, the bottom line, if you got it. So I was of course most people on the call know I'm 11 years stage 2 colon cancer conqueror. But on my way to North Carolina this morning, you see I'm wearing my Relentless Champions of Hope pullover. And in Starbucks, a young lady told me, she said, "Do you know somebody who had colon cancer?" And I said, "Yeah, me." But her mother just finished her chemo she didn't know what stage, but colon cancer on last week, and she had her celebratory dinner on Monday. So that just spoke volumes to me, because normally I'm repping my sorority colors, but because of Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, I'm always trying to represent and have people ask me questions about why I'm wearing blue and what Fight CRC means. So I want to thank Shamika for this platform, and thank you, Dr. McGee, for all you're doing, because it's out there. This lady is like 53 years old who just finished her chemo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate you so much. And I congratulate you, for just being as much of a warrior as you are, because you appear to not let anything ever keep you down. So if somebody's calling you train, it's hard to stop you. Okay. It is difficult and hard, but yes, but colon cancer, being detected early. So one, it's preventable if we get to it early enough. Two, if you diagnose it early enough, it's so treatable. I mean, you have more than 90% of people still alive within a 5-year span, a 10-year span, if it is caught early enough. And so, just your journey, I'm sure we could sit here all day and talk about that.
Now, I have a question around colonoscopy. I had my first one, was it October? So I was 45 then, 46 now. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Okay. I had
We'll start there.
heard the horror stories about the drink that you drink, but I didn't get a drink. I got pills.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want people to know that there are options with the prep, but that's your specialty. So I'll let you speak a little bit about what you can expect prep wise and day of for a colonoscopy.
Yeah. So a lot of the pills that you're talking about, these are things that maybe have been out for maybe less than a year. So you kind of got the new technology, right? And so the pills are good because, like you said, sometimes to get your colon cleaned, you have to drink, a mixture of things in order to clean it. And so we call that the prep. Well, the prep is a good amount of liquid. And the whole goal is to hit your colon and kind of shake it and say, hey, wake up, and get everything out of it, because the more clean you are, the better exam we can give you when we do your colonoscopy the next day. And so some people didn't like the taste of the liquid or the amount of the liquid. So you've got the pills. Well, don't think you're just getting off easy just because they're pills. I'm sure someone on this call could probably attest to that. But it's a necessary evil. I mean, you're going to go to the bathroom a lot. You're going to empty your colon. But again, this is for a good cause. It's for your health. And so there are numerous ways to prep or get cleaned out. We generally have you do that the day before, in addition to several dietary restrictions. And the point and purpose of doing that is the next day when you go have your procedure, when you wake up in the morning for your procedure, we don't need you going and eating and drinking anything. Don't stop and have breakfast. You go have your procedure and we put you to sleep. So during your exam, you're all the way asleep. People feel like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? This is going to hurt. It's going to be painful. Well, no, that's not the experience that I'm going to provide you. You're going to go to sleep in a very safe environment. We're going to do your procedure. We're going to take care of you. We're going to do everything the right way. And then we're going to wake you up. And so the experience that a lot of my patients have is, hey, when are you guys going to start? And we're sitting there laughing like, hey, we're finished. Everything's done. And they're shocked that, hey, how long did that take? So that's what I want your experience to be. And not all doctors are created equally, but there are lots of very, very, very excellent gastroenterologists here in the Central Arkansas area. We're spoiled because we have a lot of excellent providers here.
We have a couple people. I think Kendra, I think you raised your hand first. What's your question?
Okay, so you were talking about the prep. So can you utilize the prep for like just a general colon cleanse? Like I know Shamika had the pills, but I had like the Miralax and a couple laxatives and a whole bunch of liquids. But
Yeah.
I find that it was a great colon cleanse. So is that unhealthy to do maybe once every couple of months just to get all the trash out?
It's a good
So,
question.
so I'll tell you this. I generally say no, don't do that. But if it's as long as it's not something that you're doing on a weekly basis, I think maybe doing part of the prep, maybe not the entire prep.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend that way more before someone going and having a colonic. So I'm just, yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, but it's not bad. It's not detrimental to you, but I just wouldn't want you doing it too often because you don't want to dehydrate yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Miss Boone, what's your question?
Yeah, so that was kind of along similar to the same line of what I was going to ask. He was talking about dehydration. And so my question to you is there any type of indicator of improper or abnormal bowel movements that could signify potential of colon cancer? Because a lot of people have the assumption that, oh, well, I just go like, once or twice every 3 or 4 days, and that's normal.
Yeah. So another good question. Everyone's regular is different. So some people may go every day. Some people may go twice a day. Some people may go several days in between bowel movements. Now, if it's more than 5 days between bowel movements, that's not really normal. And that's something that, I try to part and parcel out to try to understand a little bit better what's going on with my patient. But indicators, if you want clear indicators, if you have a bowel movement, you got blood in it, that's something that needs to be checked out. If you're having a painful bowel movement, if you're having stomach pain before the bowel movement or stomach pain while you're having the bowel movement, these are things that could be indicators of something not normal. I don't want to say cancer, but something going on in your colon. There's something called a Bristol stool scale, Bristol stool scale. And during my training, we used to have this chart, and it'd be in the rooms. And I mean, it was quite the conversation starter. So Google it and try not to laugh, but basically find your number on that scale. I think it's like 1 through 7 or 1 through 8. And generally whatever number you are can tell you a few different things that could potentially be going on.
Good questions.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Okay, I have one. I think I deal with a lot of, I guess, acid reflux. Is that the same thing as GERD?
Yes. We use GERD, reflux, heartburn, dyspepsia. We kind of use those loosely and interchangeably, but they're very similar, very, very similar.
Okay.
And there's no rhyme or reason with that either. I mean, some people can go years and not have any heartburn, and then all of a sudden they're having it every day for like a month or two. So sometimes it's diet related, sometimes it's stress related. But again, this is where my superpower of actually listening to the patient instead of talking over them helps me to part and parcel these things out.
Okay. Another question that I have is around alcohol consumption.
Mhm.
Some people like to have a glass of wine a day. Would that be harmful to when you're thinking about colon cancer? I'm
No.
just speaking on wine, not like
Yeah.
a heavy. Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. Anything that's done responsibly, I think, is more than fine. I think the thing that you would have more trouble from would be the heartburn, reflux, GERD, more so than any detriment to your colon with alcohol consumption.
Hi, Shamika.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to pop in and say when I did chemo, it was actually 6 pills a day, Zolota, which the doctor says a lot of chemicals going in my body. My question to him was, can I have a glass of wine while I'm taking this? And he said, I got so excited. He said, I didn't say a bottle of wine. I just said a glass of wine. So I went through that same thing about the whole wine deal. And so I'm still alive 11 years later.
Yeah. Look, at the point to where you're having to do chemotherapy, if you have someone that's trying to deny you a glass of wine, you might need to get them,
Like,
Right.
put them glasses down and get them that look so they understand, like, hey, man, look,
don't
Right.
deny me this. Do
Right,
not
right.
deny me
don't do
this.
that. Don't do that. But one of the things I wanted to point out, look, I redid the logo for colon cancer, the ribbon. Okay. And if you can't tell, these are like two fists,
Yes.
just like this. Yeah. Some people have been like, oh, it looked like you saying Wakanda forever. No, this is an X. We're trying to X out or eradicate colon cancer. And in American Sign Language, when you do this, it means love. So it's an embrace and it's a love for people that have gone through what you've gone through.
Appreciate that. We're almost
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
We're almost at time. So what I would like to do, Dr. McGee, I know you gave your introduction in the beginning, but I would also like for you to share once again where your office is located and how people can get in contact with you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm here in Little Rock, out 14918 Cantrell Road. It's out in West Little Rock. The zip code is 72223. Clinic is Digestive Care. And our telephone number is 501-663-4747. 501-663-4747. If you happen to do social media, you can Google my name, Dr. Brian McGee. I spell it Brian, Brian, McGee, McGee. Make that G capital. I don't have a little G in my name. It's a big G,
Big
okay?
G.
It's a big G. And so same name across multiple platforms, but we want to make ourselves available to be able to take care of you. And so if you need a referral by your primary care, get it, tell them, send you over. If you don't, then call us and let's get you on the books. Let's get you in. Let's get you taken care of.
And I can attest, everyone, I've actually visited the clinic. There was a grand opening there. So we made it a point to show up because if you know me, you know I'm real funny about where I go, who I associate with, things like that. So Dr. McGee's office is on our website as a referral. So we do recommend that clinic. I could tell upon visiting there was a close-knit family type feel, welcoming environment. And I also love the fact that there's not multiple doctors in the clinic where you feel like you're just another patient or you're just another number. Because if I have questions, I want to be able to call and
Correct.
you not say pick a number and get in line. So
Correct.
I would recommend you.
And thank you. That is very gracious of you. And some of the things that you spoke on, that's by design.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have questions for the doctor?
Man, you all are letting me off easy. Thank you.
Everyone, okay, so I'm getting messages. They're just saying thank you, Big G. Great information, Dr. McGee. Thanks, Meek. Oh, that's me. Okay, you're welcome. All right. Well, Dr. McGee, thank you so much for joining us again. This is
Absolutely.
our final segment of our Let's Talk Live series. I'm glad that you were able to join us. And
Yes.
I would like to do this again really, really soon, but y'all, I am swamped. So it may be next year before we do this again.
Wow. Okay. Well, look,
I
I appreciate you for having me, and anything I can do, please consider me an advocate.
Thank you so much. If nothing else, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to stop recording. And you all have a great evening, a great weekend. Happy Easter to anyone who celebrates, and protect your butt. Okay? Good night, everyone.
Thank you.